Skater XL arrives on the Nintendo Switch, and here's a game I've wanted to see for a while. In fact, the announcement trailer itself was over 3 years ago. It's been so long I honestly forgot about it, but here we are. It is live on the eShop, so I wanted to take a look to see if it was worth the wait and if the performance is as good as they promise. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner, and if you enjoy the video, subscribe, it helps us out a huge amount. So I had to check this one out because there was a noticeable lack of review codes going out, and I've not seen really any coverage this far diving into have they delivered. They of course owe us nothing, and I don't want it to come off that way. How they market their game is completely up to them. I know, for example, there's a fair few Skate custom consoles going out to specific long-term fans and creators, which makes absolute sense. But I also do know, like many, when we don't see codes, it's often a sign of trouble, so that's why I'm digging in. Gonna give you a clue to how this video will go today. Initially, the game impresses, but the key word there is definitely initially. Skater XL is here to be a simulation, a realistic reflection of skating with a twin-stick controller setup that is reminiscent of Skate. Concept simple really, the left stick is the left foot, the right stick is the right, and now the magic created on the board will be through your different rotations of these inputs. The only controls outside of this are the ability to push, grab, stop, and rotate. You can also drop waypoints, reset to them, and enter a camera and video mode to capture your best action. You'll also notice through the majority of my footage today, the controls are displayed on the screen showing your inputs. This can be toggled off if preferred, but it's something I do recommend if, like me, you are new to the series. First of all, content. We get 8 maps total. 5 are official, 3 were community created. These go through a variety of recognizable locations, as well as some that have become synonymous with video game skating, such as the school location. They have a nice amount of variety, and learning different lines will no doubt keep the hardcore coming back and back. I say hardcore here because that feels like the target market here almost. A game that was made for those that want to grind and master what is something that is complex. One thing I didn't like off the bat was when you do crash, you can't simply stand up and continue on, it throws you back to your waypoints. Fortunately, a tap of the X button allows you to choose a new location, but yeah, it feels like a little bit of an oversight to not have walking and running. Also, the absence of any real kind of main menu option screen is really unusual as well. Here you press start, it loads you into the first map, and then you must pause the game to select that next location. Then there's no story at all, which I guess makes sense given the theme, but I do miss having that sense of forward progression. The only thing you'll find packed in is challenges, and these are mini runs that ask you to pull off specific tricks at specific locations on the map. Once you select one, it instantly transports you to that location. Definitely a fun way to learn the ropes, and the difficulty definitely ramps quickly, but it's more what I would consider to be an advanced tutorial. Unfortunately then, that did also highlight one big problem for me, and that is, our skater's not particularly consistent. There's been multiple occasions where I thought I would fall flat on my face, only to be fine, and vice versa. I'm flying over something that seems trivial and unrealistic. Honestly though, that's really all there is to gameplay. This is a game where you head for the thrill of pure skateboarding, mastering and experimenting with what you are capable of. It's rounded out with multiplayer support for up to 10 players, so you can cruise these maps together. Particularly enjoyed jumping into video mode here and capturing everyone together. Then there's a relatively comprehensive skateboard creator, but this is less about character shape and more clothing, hairstyle, equipment, and so on. We also get male and female models, as well as 4 pros. So let's talk performance and visuals. First of all, are the good. They indeed deliver a stable 60 frames per second in both docked and handheld, and that feels great. It's honestly refreshing as well, with them clearly putting in the effort to get this to where it needs to be. The controls, thanks to this, feel responsive, and now you can't blame the game for any lack of input reads, which is exactly what you want when you factor in this is a game of experimenting with a unique control scheme. Unfortunately, one of the costs for this, it's the visuals. I won't say they look bad, but it's definitely not winning any beauty pageants either. For me, the texture quality is often low, the resolution is soft, and the pixelation throughout it is apparent with a whole lot of jagged edges. That said, on a positive, unlike Session, which suffered from popping at the most awkward of moments, that is not the case here, meaning if you are skating a line, what's ahead of you won't catch you off guard. Unfortunately, however, I did notice one minor issue. Occasionally, there is a slight stutter. I wouldn't say frequent, but it impacts your inputs if it lands at the wrong time. Now, I won't say I'm anywhere near good at this game, but this did cause a couple of bails. I also wish generally some of these locations were busier. I appreciate the aim for realism, but the lack of foot traffic and vehicles, for example, on the city locations, definitely does break this. The audio in the game also suffers from stutters as well. The tracks momentarily freeze, and more frequently than the gameplay. The soundtrack, it is top quality, but it definitely breaks your enjoyment when you're singing along and it goes ahead and freezes on you. I do wish as well that there was more audio life to these worlds. There's not a huge amount really going on in them. Alright, so we've spoken about the good, the bad, the ugly, at least to a certain extent, but now let's talk about the game breaking, and it's really disappointing to say that. As of launch, Skater XL needs a patch, and you may be thinking, why? While I'm not a looker, it does enough. Also, it delivered 60 FPS as promised on day one, something I don't feel we see all that often anymore. But unfortunately, this game suffers from crashes, and I'm talking frequent. To put this together, I played roughly 2 hours. I reinstalled the game, and I also changed from micro SD to internal, and nothing solved it. In this 2 hours, I had 7 crashes. It seems it's worse on the core levels than the community ones, and in particular, it is when you are working towards objectives, it will give up after 5 or 6 and just push you out to that main Switch menu. For me, I was averaging a crash roughly every 15 to 20 minutes. Now this is hopefully an easy, quick fix. Considering we've been waiting for near 4 years now for the game, you'd think they've got everybody hands on deck and hopefully they'll get something out ASAP. But I am also a little concerned when it comes to the general community feedback around the team, because they appear to point out pretty frequently there's been no real sizable updates over the years for the game, and they don't have the greatest support it seems when it comes to responding to the community either. For that reason, I'd probably wait until the patch drops and it's been confirmed the game is in a stable condition. If you just head to Twitter, there's a fair few folks giving a warning that the game just doesn't get any support, and that is definitely disappointing to hear. Now if you've been in the Skater XL world, please let us know in the comments your opinion on the team support and everything they do around developments. I think overall Skater XL, they've got a lot of things right here. They've hit 60 FPS, the visuals while severely downgraded do enough, and the general environments and soundtrack, I do like them a lot. Also the inclusion of multiplayer is another winning feature. Now though, there's things to tidy up. Some you can live with, the stutter for example occasionally, but the crashes, they need to be addressed. I also then want to give my opinion on the game itself, and I love the control scheme, but it seems very content light for a game that's now been around for years. The cosmetics and that side of things, that's impressive as selections go, but only 8 maps, a simple checklist, or even you could consider it an advanced tutorial, makes up the entire experience. Whereas simple things like stats or the fact the game really has no main menu, it constantly loads you into a map and you need to pause and switch locations from there. Just weird design decisions throughout for sure that it appears haven't been changed. So basically, if you do come here, and I do think this is who it's been made for again, you've got to be incredibly passionate about skateboarding and mastering tricks and creating your own lines, because it really does lack any sense of, or I guess any sort of progression or direction outside of your own ability. It's a game where you come here to, I guess, make your own fun. So will you be checking out Skater XL? Let us know in the comments. Did you pick it up already then? If so, let us know your thoughts this far. Also tell me, how has it been performing for you? With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.